Our Gen Con coverage is brought to you by Hit Point Press. From animated spell and tarot cards to their breathtaking Humblewood campaign setting and adventure to the award-winning series The Big Bads, Hit Point Press is your one-stop shop for amazing 5e content. Check out our links below for all the gaming goodness. Welcome to the final day of Gen Con 2023. We made it to the Darrington Press booth. We asked in our comments section a couple weeks ago which booth y'all wanted to come and visit yourselves if you were coming to Gen Con, and this was the one that everybody wanted to see. We're with Kyle. Kyle, how's your experience been so far at Gen Con?
Absolutely surreal. Just a dream come true, really. This is the game that I created and designed, Queen by Midnight, and so far people have been really into it. It's been selling out in the very beginning minutes of the con floor opening, so that's really, really cool. And I'm doing my best to accept compliments about it, but it's difficult.
I know how hard it can be. The clock tower itself, which doubles as a dice tower, which is functional, card holder, draws all the attention in. Absolutely gorgeous. Tell us a little bit about the game.
In this game, first of all, it's a deck building battle game that is asymmetrical, and in it you play as one of the 6 princesses of Townsfolk, and essentially the Midnight Queen has died, and in her last will and testament, she has ordered all of the princesses of Townsfolk to come together and battle, and at the stroke of midnight, the strongest surviving princess will be crowned the new Midnight Queen. So essentially, each princess has their own play style, has their own sort of vibe, and you're slowly kind of building your deck from 2 different sources. First of all, you have your princess's individual vault, which are cards that are unique to that princess and their play style, and then of course you have the cards from the bazaar, which are open to everybody. It's real fun, and lots of fun stuff happens as the clock turns.
Now, this game, if I remember correctly, supports 3 to 6 players.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep, 3 to 6.
I remember that perfectly. So tell us about a lot of the battle games that are out there don't necessarily do well beyond 2 players. They technically support it, but it looks like you made this design specifically to handle a larger group of players. So tell us kind of what that looks like. I think there's some Secret Alliance stuff that can happen in this, if I remember correctly. Give me a little bit of that. Sounds really fun.
So one of the things that you should note in that it is 3 to 6 players, but depending upon how many players you have, it determines how many rounds are in the game. So we have this beautiful clock tower here that obviously moves and keeps track of the rounds that you're in. But so if you're playing with 3 players, for example, here it just spins. You'll see that it it's caught on a lip. There we go. You'll see that if you start with 3 players, you start at 1 o'clock, and then at 4 players, you start at 2, 5, you start at 3, and then if you have a full house, 6, you start at 4 o'clock. And essentially what this does is it basically makes the game run at an optimal length because, you have a lot of people playing, and you want to kind of like manage that time. And it also kind of changes the dynamic of the game in a lot of fun ways. Basically, if you have a 3-person game, you have 3 rounds with the afternoon bazaar, for example. But if you have 6 players, you only have 1. So that's the other thing I should mention. There's the bazaar, which are cards that are available for everybody, but there are 3 phases to it. At 4 o'clock, all of the afternoon cards get banished and are replaced with the twilight cards, which are a little bit more beefy, a little bit more potent. And then at 8 o'clock, all of the twilight cards get banished, and you now have the midnight cards. And those are cards, where you become a lich if you want to. You can summon an elemental minion. That's when things get really spicy. And then, like I said, at different points in time, different things happen. And so when the clock strikes 6, for example, you were talking about Secret Alliances and stuff. Essentially, at 6 o'clock, every princess secretly declares for another princess that is playing the game. And in the event that you drop to 0 hit points, you reveal who you have declared for. And if the princess you've declared for is still alive and does not have an advisor yet, you do not die. You become a part of their inner circle, all right? And each princess has their own unique abilities as a member of your inner circle. So Boss No, for example, becomes your Mistress of Whispers. So at the start of her leader's turn, she can activate one of these 2 abilities, her choice. She is not commanded by her leader to do anything. And these abilities help your leader take out other people. And if your leader wins, you win too. So you kind of can become the queen maker. So there's an element of like, yeah, sure, you can gang up on somebody if you want in this game, but beware, because if you strike them down, they may become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
That's a great way to keep that from happening, because that's what happens in a lot of the battle games, is that the weakest player gets teamed up on, because you get more points maybe for teaming up on that person. And so in this way, I love the idea that you're playing for yourself, but you're also secretly keeping an eye on somebody else, trying to make sure that they stay in the game. Sounds like a great mechanic to fix that problem.
Yes, and also if you get knocked out early for whatever reason, you don't have to just like sit off to the side and watch everybody else have a good time. You get to like still be invested, still have agency, and that's one of the things that I love the most about it.
Now, does each princess have their own special abilities, special cards, or how does that work? Do they?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So first of all, like I said, every princess's vaults are filled with cards that are completely unique to them and their own play style. And additionally, at 8 o'clock, what happens is something called your war chest unlocks. And your war chest consists of 3 really cool cards. They consist of 2 boons that are 3 to buy and 0 to play. And then they also kind of exemplify your princess's really cool play style. So Bosno, for example, who's my kind of... she is a princess who spies on her constituents with a network of magic mirrors. And there's no crime where she rules because, she knows everything that goes on. So one of her cards is called Body Double. So if you were to attack her, you roll a die, and there's a good chance you might not hit her. You might hit her body double. And then, the other cool thing that happens at 8 o'clock is your ultimate ability unlocks. Every princess has an ultimate ability that is 6 to buy and 6 to play. And basically, the ultimate cards it's literally just this amazing, beautiful art that you'll see here. But if you want the exact description of the art, you consult this beautiful tarot card. And basically, it's a really cool ability that you can throw down late game to hopefully just tip the scales in your favor if you need to. So Bosno, for example, picks 2 opponents. She steals half of their clout and then deals damage equal to the amount of clout that she steals. She's wonderful.
I love it. It looks absolutely amazing. You've fixed a lot of the problems I think I've had with similar games in the past. Is what it looks like. So I am very looking forward to getting it to my table and trying it. But I do have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
So I believe this is the first time you've been able to get the game out in front of a big audience like this. People can come and buy it for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
How does it feel for you to celebrate? Have you had a moment just to take it in that it's finally out there and people can tell you and how much they're enjoying it?
It still doesn't feel real to a degree. Like I still feel like I'm going to wake up and I'm, back in my North Hollywood apartment with this game in a Google Drive, basically. It still doesn't feel real, but I'm absolutely honored that the wonderful people at Darrington Press took this game on. I could not think of better stewards for it. And every single person that has worked on it, Alex Uboldi, Amira Sheik, Mikhail Ivan, Mike Pape, those are some of the artists. Alex Uboldi was the game producer. Matt Paquette and Co. did the game design, and they were the people behind designing the clock tower. Everybody has brought their A game and their input, and I'm just so honored because without it, this game really became the best possible incarnation of itself, and it could not have happened without them. And I'm so grateful for it.
Well, take a look at the game you have in front of you. Think about your very first prototype that you made up. And then tonight, when you're finally done with your con, you're able to relax, take a moment to celebrate for yourself because you earned it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
All right, we are with Darcy now from Darrington Press. Darcy, how's your con going so far?
Oh my gosh, it's Darrington Press's first Gen Con, and it's going so well. We're really, really happy. It's good to be out here with our games and getting to see the impression that they're making.
How long has Darrington Press been a thing so far?
Just about 3 years. Oh, not even. So it's early days still, and we're finally starting to roll out a much bigger slate of games. So it's a really exciting time.
Just looking at the case behind me, we can see how much you'll already have, and it's absolutely amazing. Where do you want to start? Tell us what's been hot at the con.
Well, of course, Queen by Midnight, which I know you'll have covered. So it's an amazing deck-building board game by Kyle Shire. Badass princesses vying to be crowned Queen by Midnight in a battle royale. Very good stuff. Should I go on about that, or should we?
We just talked about that, so
okay,
you can tell us a little bit about the other products you have back here. I see some books that look very beautiful and exciting.
Absolutely. So So what we're showcasing at the con includes Till the Last Gasp, which came out a little earlier this year, sold through its first print run, and is back in stock. And we're really excited that it's starting. We're getting a lot of questions about it. So it is a 2-player storytelling game of dramatic duels. So it's really a game that lets you capture those cinematic set piece, emotional confrontations that we see in movies. You know, think Princess Bride. My name is Inigo Montoya, right? Mm-hmm. So those moments where there's a fight happening. It's cool. It's cinematic, but it's about more than the fight. It's about the emotions at the heart of it. And I think it's a really excellently designed game that kind of looks like a board game. You have a little play mat. We're basically running it in Hall D alongside Queen by Midnight. But it's really a storytelling game in its heart, and I think it gives folks who are maybe a little more intimidated on how to get really into character, get really emotional. I think it gives you a lot of tools to access that in ways that are otherwise pretty intimidating, especially in the intensity of a 2-player game. Mm-hmm. So that's designed by Will Hindmarch with additional design by Alex Roberts, and we're really, really happy to have it here. It's very near and dear to my heart.
It sounds like an excellent tool, because I know a lot of folks sometimes struggle with cinematically describing the action in your games, especially when you're playing D&D, Pathfinder, things like that. And one of the tools that I like to recommend is, when you're going rotely around the table for people's turns, sometimes you lose the cinematic aspect of it. And so having those skills to be able to, as the next person's turn comes up, describe cinematically where they are in the battle, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they see, what they hear and feel. And this sounds like a fantastic tool to just practice those skills while having a fun separate game in itself.
Absolutely, and it can even integrate into your role-playing games if you want to have a side, are 2 characters having it out? Is it you plus a villain? Is it you plus a fellow character? I think it can really tack on as a module if you'd like as well, which I find very exciting.
I can't wait to get a hold of it myself and take a look at it. It is available now for purchase?
Yes, it is finally available. It's back in stock. Find it in friendly local game stores. Find it on Critical Role shops, and go play.
Talking about Critical Role, I see Tal'Dorei campaign setting Reborn here, which we talked about briefly on the channel. We have a lot of we do a lot of minis on the channel, and so we have a lot of the Critical Role minis from WizKids, and we have the Tal'Dorei campaign setting Reborn. I think the Beetle and Grimm's edition, if I remember correctly. We haven't had a full video on that yet, but it is coming. There's a lot of Beetle and Grimm's boxes, and they take a lot of time to cover. But tell us a little bit about what makes the Reborn book special.
Oh, wow, yes. An amazing creative team. It's a really rich source book full of art that really brings the whole world, the peoples, the locations, the factions and the struggles and the magic of Exandria as seen on Critical Role to your table. And something that I also really like about it, it's got all of that world building information that's really rich and great if you're getting into Exandria, if you're looking for more of a deep dive, but also there's a lot of character options in there. There's a lot of really interesting mechanical goodness that we've seen a lot of folks taking into their home games, taking into other worlds. And so I think they're really, I think it really just has a little bit of something for everyone in there. Beautiful art, beautifully laid out, just a really great reference. We're really happy that that also is continuing to resonate for people. So.
And I believe that's one of our good buddies, James Hake, is working on this book, friend of the channel, and we've been knowing him for a long time, and so it's always exciting to see everything that he's worked on. So congratulations on that book. What else you have behind us here? I know that what do you have there?
Okay, so we rolled the dice and decided to come to Gen Con with 2 unfinished role-playing games, or at least unreleased role-playing games, right? So we are very excited that we were able to run full sessions of Candela Obscura. This is the little printout of our quick start guide. Full game may be coming in November, but please stay tuned for a real release date. So Candela Obscura is our game of our role-playing game of investigative horror. You play a circle of investigators who are in a fictional setting that's sort of lightly inspired by turn of the century, the turn of the century world that we actually live in. But it has lots of strange supernatural elements that are bleeding through from other worlds. You as investigators are, trying to get to the bottom of strange occurrences, trying to protect the world and the people around you, trying to protect yourselves and the ones you love, and sort of up against these kind of impossible odds, but always striving to make the world a better place, to get to the bottom, get to the dark truth of things. And it's a really rich world. It's a really wonderful system. It uses the Illuminated World system, which was lots of folks to credit here because it's this is really such a wonderful amalgamation of what makes Critical Role and Darrington Press so special, I think. So Candela Obscura has been showcased as a game, as a world, on the Critical Role channel by some lovely, lovely folks. So folks have already seen this game and system in action. We have a lovely how to play going on, but now that, as we, Darrington Press, can put this book into folks' hands through the quick start, through other materials, we are really excited to see how other people are taking that and making it their own. So it's really fun that we get to really unleash this almost together, right? The show that you can enjoy, the world that you can, and the characters you can latch onto, as well as the system and setting. So that quick start is free to download online. You can go find it at darringtonpress.com. And we've been finding folks really resonating with Candela Obscura.
What are the products that are going to be available at launch for the game?
Yes. So we'll have more details. But let's say there will be a full rule book to look forward to, and we also already have Candela Obscura dice, a whole dice set that you can purchase now, t-shirt, keychain, some fun accessories. So again, sort of celebrating the show or celebrating the game. There are some things to get excited about. But yeah, look. Stay tuned very soon to hear about exactly what that's going to look like. And speaking of things to get excited about, I think you have one more thing in your hand that you wanted to talk to us about. Yes, I would love to talk about Daggerheart. This is the other RPG that is much earlier in development that we're really excited we were able to bring here, get in front of people, get feedback about. And so Daggerheart, like Candela Obscura, a lot of love comes from designer Spencer Stark. We have to credit that wonderful man for working on these RPGs and a really large creative team on both of these projects. So please check out darringtonpress.com for the whole creative team. They're wonderful. But Daggerheart, what makes it special? So whereas Candela Obscura is really built around short arcs as your investigative team goes and pursues mysteries together and then comes back together and grows as a team. So lots of short arc focus. Daggerheart is going to be a long-form campaign fantasy RPG. So you're going to see a lot of great options for character progression. You're going to see lots of campaign-style storytelling. So we want to see long gameplay of this, big character growth. We want to see your characters, take advantage of new cool abilities. And it's really, really special. We got just a really early look at it, and I'm sure some information about it is starting to come out. So. Oh, absolutely. I know a lot of people are very excited about this. A lot of people are looking to kind of branch out, I think, this year and try some new games. Do we have a timeline that we're looking at for learning more about it yet? It's still kind of in the developmental process. So. Yeah, we are looking at it as a 2024 release, and we suspect that there will be a lot more information kind of once we get to take all that feedback from Gen Con, really iterate and refine it. I'm sure we'll be sharing more information. What I can say about it is it uses a 2d12 system for its general mechanic. There's a hope die and a fear die. There's sort of this combinatorial, whether you succeed or fail, there's also, whether your hope die leads, then something kind of extra good happens. You get a currency that helps you and helps your friends. If your fear die leads, then maybe the GM will sort of throw something more complicated at you. And the other aspect that's really dear to my heart that's happening in design is a lot of work is going into how do we make both character creation and getting into role-playing games in general really easy for new folks, which is a great passion of mine. And I think a lot of great design work is going into that. How do we reduce the need for players to go reference a rule book? And so there are lots of beautiful art-filled cards, leveraging lots of art like we've started to sneak out. And those cards will really have all the mechanics that you, the player, need to have at your fingertips. And we think it's really resonating with people so far. I'm sure we'll be tweaking more things, but I'm really passionate that we're able to bring a role-playing game that can make it even easier for new folks to try it for the first time. So we're really excited that we were able to debut it here. That's awesome. You get to see the love for the booth around. We're surrounded by Critical Role cosplayers, among others, and a lot of people who love everything y'all do. Is there anything else here that you wanted to share with us before we start wrapping up? Gosh. I know you have so many things that you are working on. I mean, there's the comics as well down there from Mighty Nine. I see a Clue game up there. Oh, we have a lot of amazing partners that Critical Role gets to work with. For folks who want to maybe stay in touch a little better with Darrington Press, we do have a Discord that you can find a link to on our website, darringtonpress.com. That's sort of where, groups of folks who are playing this quick start are trying to find players. Folks are really digesting a lot of our games, so we're really excited that we're able to provide kind of a community for that, for these games to sort of grow and take on new lives on their own. So check out the Discord. I love it. Well, Darcy, one more question for you. What has been your favorite moment of the con so far, either here at the booth, being able to kind of celebrate all of the work y'all have done
done with all your fans, or just something that you've encountered out in the con itself? What's been your best moment?
Oh gosh, it's been quite a few years since I've been at a Gen Con, and I think my favorite moment has been just being here at this booth and hearing wonderful stories of folks playing our games, what that impact is. You just absolutely can't, we're designing in our little, bunker. We don't get to see the outside world. We hope we're making games that resonate with people and getting to hear the stories of what is sticking. Also, big shout out to all of the game masters who have been running our games here, an excellent group of people who have really made lovely stories that those players get to share, which is like our mission statement. We want to make games that help people tell stories with their friends, have great memories, and those game masters, especially the ones who are learning, game systems that are not released yet, they've done a wonderful job, and it's been really, really personally touching to see them work so hard to make wonderful experiences happen here. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far. Clearly, y'all are an anchor booth here at the con, the one that people want to come and see, and I am sure y'all are going to be here the mainstay into the future. So congratulations, and we can't wait to learn more about all these products.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned to the Gallant Goblin for the latest from Gen Con 2023. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.